all see the building of the third temple in Jerusalem very soon. And we honor our President Trump for what he has done for Jerusalem and for the Jewish people.
Mr. Trump could promise to use his building skills to build a temple.
And one day our true leader will come and we'll be united as a whole Jewish nation so we can rebuild the Beit HaMikdash.
Will Donald Trump be the one to initiate the building of the third temple? Well, these Jews in Israel believe he will. And not only that, they believe he is actually a type of Messiah to them. This is in their own words and in their Gematria. We also have the most recent update on the Red Heifers in Israel and how many of them will be ready for the sacrificial ceremony, which reports from Israel are saying will happen. There's a growing belief among Jews in Israel after seeing everything that Donald Trump has been doing for them that he is a type of Messiah figure or pre-Messiah figure to them.
Yes, he, I believe, is the Mashiach of Edom. See? And that's why I believe that the Gematria of Donald Trump is Gematria Mashiach ben David.
Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
And I have good reason to believe Donald Trump was chosen to be the one to redeem the sins of Esav through offering his assistance in rebuilding the Holy Temple on the Temple Mount and establishing the Jewish kingdom over all of mankind in Jerusalem.
Is Gematria Mashiach ben David? You know what that means? He, I believe, is the Mashiach of Edom. A Mashiach is nothing more than an anointed one, right? That completely reverses the order of something.
Perhaps it is no accident that the numeric value of Donald Trump in Hebrew is the same as Messiah, son of David, Mashiach ben David, 424.
These aren't isolated opinions. There's quite a lot of talk surrounding Trump on this issue. The next two articles had some very interesting things to say about Donald Trump being a type of pre-messianic figure who sets the stage for the Jewish Messiah. Here's an overview of the key takeaways from those articles. Don't laugh, but what if the great sages, the Chazal, were right in saying that when the Messiah comes, even most Jews won't recognize him? That thought lingers when I consider the strange saga of Donald Trump, a man who didn't descend from heaven with fire and fanfare, but with executive orders and political disruption. He moved the US Embassy to Jerusalem, scrapped the Iran deal, defunded UNRWA, shut the PLO office, and elevated unapologetically pro-Israel voices like Nikki Haley and John Bolton. Some call these acts political strategy, others might call them modern miracles, and yet critics paint him as anti-Semitic, even absurdly linking him to the Tree of Life tragedy while ignoring the roaring economy, the quiet aid to Palestinians, and his family's deep connection to Orthodox Judaism. The media obsesses over his wife's jacket, but scoffs at his overt support for Israel as if both he and the Jewish state are threats rather than allies. But what if, just what if, this is Mashiach Tezitin, the time of the Messiah? Scripture says the chosen are often despised, misunderstood, even vilified. Isaiah spoke of restoring judges. Trump has reshaped the courts. Maybe this isn't just politics. Maybe it's prophecy unfolding, one bold decision at a time.
It's an honor to be here with the first Jewish president of the United States.
In the heat of the 2016 US presidential campaign, when Donald Trump trailed far behind in the polls and his victory seemed like a distant fantasy, an extraordinary event unfolded in Jerusalem, right above what many now believe to be the true burial site of King David. It was here at a small venue called Naval David, perched on Mount Zion overlooking the Temple Mount, that Trump's team in Israel held a campaign rally unlike any other. The location was logistically inconvenient, but that was precisely the point. The organizers wanted to connect with the spiritual heart of Jerusalem, as pre-recorded speeches by Trump and Pence played on a large screen, and as speakers like David Friedman invoked Psalm 128, "May Hashem bless you from Zion," a strange and powerful sense of alignment began to take shape. Rabbi Yosef Berger, guardian of King David's tomb, attended the event and sensed something profound was unfolding. Just as King David once overcame fierce opposition to establish his kingdom, Rabbi Berger believed Trump was tapping into that same energy, and he argues Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital completed the spiritual cycle. The rabbi even points to the Gematria of Trump's name, 424, the same numerical value as Mashiach ben David, Messiah from the house of David. While this doesn't make Trump the Messiah, Berger insists it hints at a preparatory role in the unfolding of messianic events. The symbolism continued to deepen when it was later discovered that the event site sat directly above a network of caves believed to contain the remains of biblical kings and prophets, including David himself. And then there's the eagle, Ayat, emblazoned on the presidential seal Trump would soon earn. Rabbi Berger sees this not as coincidence, but as fulfillment of ancient prophecy. In Genesis 15, Abraham's covenant was nearly disrupted by birds of prey, save for one, the eagle, representing Israel and the house of David. While it was barred from the covenant back then, Rabbi Shlomo Yeshivik taught that in the end of days, the eagle would return. Now, Rabbi Berger suggests under the sign of that very eagle, Trump has helped reopen Jerusalem to the nations, paving the road for embassies and perhaps ultimately for the Messiah. I do believe with all of this evidence that President Trump is being used by God to set Israel and the Middle East on the path that it needs to go for biblical prophecies to eventually unfold. Even right now, Trump is making peace deals in the Middle East and also continuing his relationship with Israel. He's doing way more with Israel than any other president, which is why so many Jewish people are viewing him as paving the way for their Messiah and the Messianic age.
Mohammed, you sleep at night? How do you sleep? Huh? Just thinking. What a job. He tosses and turns like some of us. Tosses and turns all night. How do I make it even better all night? It's the ones that don't toss and turn. They're the ones that will never take you to the promised land, won't they? But you have done some job. True.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gave credit for Alexander's release to President Trump and the IDF.
This was achieved thanks to our military pressure and the political pressure exerted by President Trump. This is a winning combination.
The time of momentary peace in the Middle East, the one who is believed to be the next Messiah who will ultimately be the Antichrist, the building of the Third Temple, all of this is connected. And the Third Temple and its priests and its artifacts cannot be cleansed without the ashes of the Red Heifer. There are a few recent updates on the Red Heifers in Israel, but there are continuous conflicting stories coming out about them. This may be an attempt to keep people unsure of their plans with them. As we know, one reason for the October 7th attack was because of the arrival of the Red Heifers in Israel. Here is the most recent updates from Israel on the Red Heifers. First one is from Robert Breaker. He's there in Israel right now. And then recently also from someone at Prophecy Watchers who has close connections there with people who are working with the Red Heifers.
So I just asked, are they here? Can we see them? That starts going up, the curtains open. There's the Red Heifer. Wow, they're alive and well again in Israel. And they're beautiful. All the time I get emails, I get phone calls, I get letters from people. The Red Heifer, the Red Heifer, the Red Heifer. Well, I am in Israel, in Shiloh. There are the Red Heifers. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the back, 5. 5 Red Heifers. Can't believe I'm actually looking at the Red Heifers. We are about to get in to see the Red Heifers. It is right here, and we are at Shiloh.
Eula here, the rabbi is asking me for my input. She's the one that I would still say qualifies, so I always have to close this.
So this one qualifies as to be the first sacrifice of the rebuilt temple.
Yes, I take it. Yes. for about a year now. I've been taking care of them.
And they're all females.
All females, yes.
Now, is there a plan to make babies in case these get too old for?
Yes, and that's one thing that I said, hey, hold on, guys. They did try to artificial inseminate the back two that don't qualify anymore.
Okay.
Hi everyone, Mon Gonzalez here, and I want to give an update on the Red Heifers. There was an article that came out in the Israel 365 News by Adam Berkowitz where he was describing a comment by one of the rabbis there, a well-known rabbi, who said that we do not have any currently qualified Red Heifers. So if you want the whole information on this, you can get my brand new book, The Mystery of the Red Heifer, at prophecywatchers.com. You can check it out. I give all the background. I even give it updates on some very recent things. But what do we know? If you look at the Gospels are very clear that you had the Sadducees and the Pharisees always vying for power. It's no different right now in modern Israel. So when he says we don't have a Red Heifer, there is disagreement. So you're always going to have somebody saying that, well, we're not going to accept those Red Heifers. But let me tell you, they're absolutely, my sources are tight. They're with the people that are there. There are absolutely 2 qualified Red Heifers still in existence, and they're still looking to do the ceremony this year.
This is all very interesting stuff, and I would say the foundations for end times prophecies are what we are seeing start to be laid. But let's be sure to be on guard and look at the big picture and realize that God's timeline almost certainly will not unfold in the same way that we think it will unfold. Jesus could come sooner than we think or later than we think. These final events could start soon, or they could start in years and years. What matters the most is that every day we live to be closer to Jesus and to be more like Jesus to the rest of the world. Jesus is the Messiah, and he is long-suffering to all of us to give us every opportunity to accept him before he comes and these prophecies start to truly play out. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. Then the Jews said to him, "You are not yet 50 years old, and have you seen Abraham?" Jesus said to them, "Most assuredly I say to you, before Abraham was, I am."